Urban hunter-gatherers root through people's trash cans looking for food to feed the homeless, objects to make art projects, and perfectly good furniture.
Ted Moore is a retired Army pilot who lives in a nice home in the exclusive Newlands neighborhood. And he likes to dig through trash. He says over the years he's found dozens of wonderful household items by snagging up things that others have thrown away. Antique skis, vintage cowboy boots, and his favorite item, this old Army jacket that he dug right out of a trash bin. Moore says he's not a regular dumpster diver, but more of an opportunist.
I've just been intrigued with, older things and what's available, and I hate to see utilitarian things go to waste.
His son Christopher, who grew up in a household that appreciates used things, says he's planning a protest at next week's city council meeting to oppose any bans on the act of digging through trash. He says if the problem is identity theft, then those complaining should wise up.
And it's wise to have shredders. We require businesses and government offices to have that.
Andy says there are people unlike his dad, a hobby dumpster diver, people who are scavenging for survival. He even has a blog about the ethics of the hobby and plans to make a documentary in the future called Dumpster Wars. And as for his dad, he says he plans to continue digging.
I don't have any fancy Rolex watch or any diamonds or anything like that. I just go about my business, and life's pretty good. I have no problem.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple, plain vanilla.
And if you still think that digging through trash is taboo, then you'll really enjoy this. Ted Moore says that he has even eaten food that came out of the garbage can, and he tells me that bakeries are actually a jackpot. Little stale bread, you just toast it up and you never know the difference. According to him, I've never tried it.
Every Saturday night, there are members of Food Not Bombs who drive to local businesses, grocery stores, bakeries, delis, and raid their trash dumpsters.
There's different places that we go for different things.
And for obvious reasons, we're not sharing which dumpsters the group frequents.
Showing what an injustice it is to be wasting all this food while there are people starving.
Food Not Bombs believes that food is a right, not a privilege.
Taking free foods from different places around the community and serving them to anybody that wants to eat in a public location.
In the last 4 years, Naya's learned what to keep and what to toss.
Even if there was going to be stuff under here, I'm not going to get it because we don't want to grab produce that's tainted with fish oils or blood or whatever else.
Word of mouth spreads the message to those interested in dumpstering for food and those who are looking for a hot meal served once a week. Sunday mornings, the group cooks enough to feed about 100 to 150 people vegan dishes with the food gathered the night before.
They do an awful lot of good coming out here. They're out here diligently every week.
Randy Scott Free says he's been homeless off and on for several years, and he counts on the hot dishes the Food Not Bombs group brings.
The food's excellent, considering what they have to work with. Sometimes you think these guys are chefs, the way they do such a great job.
Not everyone eating wanted to go on camera, but say they know Food Not Bombs will show up each week and that the food will always be good.
We've never just served some slop.
Yep.
Oh, thank you.
What's not eaten on Sundays will be used for compost.
There's even dumpster diving etiquette. No trespassing, only use what you can, leave the rest for other people, don't go through people's paperwork, and don't leave a mess behind.
Well, we hate to use the cliche one man's trash
is another man's treasure. Well, a group of Reno residents disagrees, and they are taking their concerns straight to the city council.
The Reno City Council is deciding what it should do about dumpster diving, if anything.
Some local residents are planning to ask Reno City Council to put a ban on dumpster diving or trash scavenging.
The spokesman for Waste Management, the company that collects garbage in Washoe County, supports a ban, even if it is trash. He says discarded waste belongs to the owner until Waste Management collects it. At that point, he says, the company owns it, no one else.
The U.S. Supreme Court ruled back in 1988 that your curbside trash is no longer private property, and police can go through it without a search warrant.
There's nothing on the books that bans scavenging through trash cans. That could all change, though. Reno City Councilman Dave Ayazi is taking cues from his frustrated neighbors who want to prohibit dumpster diving.
I have a major concern about people going into dumpsters, dumpster diving, and things like that. And I just wondering if there's anything we can do about that. I would like to know and do something, maybe give out fines for people going in dumpsters or whatever. But I'm major concerned the health issue, okay? But no, it's worse than you even think of, okay? And been having people going in dumpsters left and right.
And waste management officials and Councilman Dave Iazzi say they don't know who would enforce this. Questions still need answering.
What is going on and how can people do that, and is that legal?
At issue, the legality of someone going through your curbside trash looking for food or maybe even finding a hidden jewel.
I furnished an apartment fully on like couches and things. I just saw
Christopher Moore.
This proposed action targets some of the most downtrodden and voiceless individuals of our city, the homeless, the unemployed, the laid off. Not to mention, it attacks the activities of Food Not Bombs, hobby curb crawlers, Freegans, trash bin divers, found object artists, dumpster divers, gleaners, recyclers, urban hunter-gatherers, and anyone who has ever retrieved perfectly good items from the trash, dumpster, curb, or dump. Additionally, there's laws already in effect, such as trespassing, littering, disturbing the peace. Also, from an environmental viewpoint, especially when Reno aims to become a green city, it retrieves useful items from the trash. It's absurd to be wasting city government's limited time and taxpayer dollars even discussing this issue. There's already things on the books. If any of you are interested in it, I have formed a website, Save Reno Dumpster Diving.com. To inform the city authorities.
One man even made a website called Save Reno Dumpster Diving.com and protested outside City Hall today. He says one person's trash is another person's treasure, especially when it is food, clothes, and items some people really need.
There's a certain group of people that are doing this, obviously, for the profit motive.
There was an old mansion across the street.
Right across the street from where we are today, right?
Yeah. And they moved it south of town. And when they moved the building, there was a dumpster in the back, and I went in the back and I was looking through the dumpster. And I found this, it was all folded up.
Do you go around looking in dumpsters? Is that something you do?
No, not all the time. About 25 years ago, I'd look for old things and I'd go through the dumpsters, and this one caught my eye.
This is actually one of the great American images. It's a very, very famous image. And you can see in the middle you have a very famous group of people, including Thomas Jefferson and Benjamin Franklin. This great symbol of American liberty and independence. I would say $800 to $900 in this kind of condition. You have it fixed up and you restore it, you clean it up, it's going to be worth over $1,000. Not bad for dumpster diving.
Not bad at all. It paid off.
Waste Management says it's not a law enforcement agency, so it can't arrest anyone to enforce trash theft. So that's where the city comes in.
We'll work with the police. I've already talked to my chief criminal deputy. We're willing to prosecute it vigorously if we can, catch some people, get somebody, I think, 18 months in jail. We will vigorously prosecute them, and we will do everything possible to get the kind of publicity to people understand that dumpster diving can be illegal. Yeah, I think it might come down to we might have to just arrest one or two and try to make an example.
The city is urging people to call police to report people digging in your trash, either on your property or at the curbside.
And forgive me if I didn't get the memo. If I see someone going through the garbage that's on the street, can I call the police?
Ordinance to restrict scavenging of garbage. Mr. Iazzi.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's really sort of interesting when you present something, what happens. The gentleman came up here today to talk about it, and I guess there was protests out in front to talk about it. But it is my understanding that there are city ordinances that make going through someone's trash a misdemeanor, yet calls to the Reno police do no good. The reason I brought this up was just to try to get a report from legal counsel as to what are the rights of people of the garbage on their property, when they put it on the street, to try to clarify some of the issues out there, because I talk to different people and they don't know either. Whose garbage is it? When does it become waste management's garbage? Who has to report it if you see someone going through the trash that's in the street? Is that legal or not? So I'm just requesting legal staff to come back so we can educate the public to see whether we even need an ordinance, whether it's, I've been hearing things that the First Amendment guarantees that people can go through this, or the Supreme Court's made an issue. I will comment that the gentleman who came up and spoke before said that he had a website, and You know, it's not just about identity theft, but on his website he has a link to one of his best buddies and it says, who does this? Besides homeless people, apparently it's everyone from your average middle-class person and suburban soccer moms to hackers, investigators, identity thieves, and hippies.